Hello, everybody. We are going to do a show for you today. Welcome to Geekoholics Anonymous, episode 168. I am your host, Dana Cody. I am here with my co-host,
Rico.
Yeah, there you go. What's up, dude?
Are we keeping that?
Oh, hell yeah, we're keeping that.
Okay, we're keeping that. I'm not on point. I'm not on point today anyway. Welcome, everyone.
You're not with it, so, hey, let's do this.
We get together once a week, talk about video games, TV, movies, and or whatever the hell we like. I was a little confused there because I was like, is he Russian or is he like that guy from the Addams Family?
Exactly. I was going for
Uncle Fester. Is that his name?
Yeah, there you go. Like you ever watch Hotel Transylvania? Like a bad Romanian accent, like you're pretending to be a vampire.
There
you go.
Nice. I'm back and exhausted from good old Disneyland.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't be a Disneyland trip if you weren't back and exhausted, right?
Sorry, everyone, for missing last week, but
you should be.
The logistics of recording and editing would have been too difficult for me, so.
And I mean, let's do everything you want to do.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm the boss. Yeah. Except for this week, I'm the co-host.
There you go.
Dane's
gotta switch it up
now.
sometimes.
If you've never been here before, like I said, we get together once a week, talk about video games, TV, and movies, or whatever the hell we like. We usually start the show with the BS, which we were deep in.
Oh, yeah. The deepest.
Talk about what we've been playing, get into some news, and of course, our free-for-all section and public service announcements, if we have any. And then sometimes random sections that are created on the fly.
Exactly.
Not this week, though.
No.
But I will say...
Unless we make one up on the fly.
Before we get into talking about what we've been playing, my Disney trip was pretty rad. I think 2 is the ideal age for your kid to actually have fun and enjoy what's going on at Disneyland.
Okay.
Though she didn't want to do anything. And
what?
She's my daughter. When we were first there, it's like, okay, let's go on this ride. No, I don't want to. Let's go see Mickey. No, I don't want to.
Really?
It's like, what?
I figured she'd be like the opposite. I figured she'd be wanting to do everything.
But it's like, it was just because she didn't know what it was. And then it's like, okay, well, we're going to go on some more. Is it scary? No, it's not scary. It's fun. It's dolls dancing, singing. So, like, Small World. Grin on her face. Again. Okay, we'll do it again. Again. No, we got to do other stuff too.
Right. So she would find something she liked and then she wanted to do that.
Yeah, she had her favorites. Like Small World, was one of her favorites. The teacups. We did teacups 3 times in a row.
I think I skipped teacups last year when we were there.
Oh, it's so much fun. She loved it. I got some really cool videos of her just laughing and having fun.
Right on.
But she she liked the characters from a distance.
Mm-hmm.
She was okay with the princesses the 3rd time we went back to see them.
Okay.
So it's at first she's loves them from a distance, gets super excited, wants to see them, and then when she's close, she's super shy and or don't touch me.
Oh, interesting.
Mickey's trying to shake her hand or high five or hug her, and she's like, no. And I was like, okay.
Really?
But then after a while, she'd be better, and then she would shut up about the character. So I guess when it comes to that, she's still maybe a little young. I don't know. There's young kids too that were cool, but for whatever reason, I maybe when their faces get up in hers, she's just off put by it.
Right.
Because they're pretty overwhelming. But yeah, the rides in Cars Land, she loved Luigi's. She loved the Little Mermaid ride. Oh,
that's good. I like the Little Mermaid ride. It was fun.
It was a pretty rad trip. It was pretty fun seeing her. Were
they finished last time I was there? They still had a Bug's Life area. But I heard that they were removing that and putting something else in there. Were they still working on that, or had they finished that yet?
Bug's Life is still there. The theater where the Bug's Life little 3D movie experience thing was.
Yeah.
Is all boarded up, and I don't know what they're putting there.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. I remember hearing about what they were putting there, but then I didn't. I don't remember now, and it's still like under construction there.
Oh, okay.
We rode like Guardians, like I think like the Guardians of the Galaxy mission breakout or whatever it is.
Yeah,
we did that like 8 times.
Not with your daughter.
No.
Okay. I was like, you mean to tell me she didn't like some of the other rides?
She didn't like the other rides.
She was all about
that because we scarred her and terrified her with that.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. No, it was. That ride's awesome. I didn't realize that it had different music.
Yeah, man.
It's kind of like a Star Tours thing where it randomizes the music on the ride.
My wife did not like that ride.
I love that ride. I don't hold on. I love that feeling of when it flies up and then drops and you're like floating there, like weightless for like a half a second.
My wife didn't like the fact that we were in, like, that you're in something and she can't see what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
She really didn't like that. She also didn't like Space Mountain. She hated Space Mountain because you're in a roller coaster in the dark, and right?
That's pitch black. You
and she was just like... I thought it was neat, though, too, because when we were there, it was, like, in September, like, the end of September, so they had the Halloween stuff on, so Space Mountain was, like, haunted Space Mountain. So there's, like,
cool.
There's, like, ghosts and stuff in there, and, like...
So you can actually see some stuff.
Yeah, and they, like,
that's
glow in the dark, and it was pretty neat.
I don't know if it was for Star Wars. I don't know what it was. Star Wars Days or the launch of Episode 7. But for some reason, for like a few months, one time we went there, it was Hyperspace Mountain.
Oh, cool.
And it was all Star Wars themed. So when you were going through it, you saw TIE fighters, X-Wings, laser sound. Like, it was Star Wars
that'd
music.
Be cool.
Yeah, okay. It was really freaking cool. But it was just like a timed thing. And I'm like, what? That was so rad. You should have just left it like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole idea is that they have to do this like thing where there's enough people that go there on a regular basis that they need to do like little changes for them so that obviously it's not the exact same thing all the time, but yet they got to keep it kind of the same. Like it's this weird, I think it's a delicate balance for them, right? As to like what they can change
I would
and how much they
change. Star Wars stuff. It was so cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of Star Wars, we obviously did Star Tours and I got to see the new content again, the stuff from episodes 7 and 8.
Sweet. I mean, they got to be getting close to the Star Wars world being kind of done,
we
right?
went to Big Thunder Mountain. Is that what it's called? I think that's what it's called, the older roller coaster. And that's over by Splash Mountain and where Galaxy's End is being built. Yep. And at the peaks of that ride, you could see the construction still.
Right,
like,
okay.
Oh, man, that's so cool. And specifically, if you are lucky enough to get the Star Tours rotation that ends with there's one of the scenes, and that's one of the ones we saw, the Star Tours mission ends at Galaxy's End, so you fly into what that park is going to look like.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
On Star Tours, which is really freaking cool.
That's neat. You guys didn't get that one, though?
No, we did get that one.
Oh,
we got
sweet.
the all new content. I guess it's the 2 new sequences, and it ends with that landing in Galaxy's End, basically.
Nice.
But
that's awesome.
It's, what was it on? Guardians? No, not Guardians. Incredicoaster. They updated that. Pixar Pier and California Adventure. It's like all Pixar themed.
Oh, that's cool.
So they switched over California Screamin' to the Incredicoaster. And it's like Incredibles now. And in the tunnels, they've got like the Incredibles characters. And it's like a little adventure like scene playing out while you're on the roller coaster.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
that's
it's kind of fun. It's related to the movie. So if you've seen the movie, you'll kind of understand what's going on.
I have not, but
a little more, but it makes it super fun and it's so cool, especially at night because the effects stand out more at nighttime.
Right.
I like that. Like they haven't changed that roller coaster. Like it's still got the loop to loop and it's generally the same.
It'd be pretty hard to full on change.
Yeah.
The roller
like
coaster.
Before it was just a roller coaster with music.
Yep.
And lights. And now like there's tunnel sections on like the dips and the rises.
That's cool.
As it's speeding through, you'll see like the Incredible Family and Jack in different scenarios playing out.
Oh, that's sweet.
And you hear this little story going on, obviously with the music and through the speakers in the cart, right?
Nice.
So that was really cool. I wasn't expecting it to be. I just thought they just like kind of changed the colors and now it's the Incredicoaster, right? But
right.
No, they kind of like ramped it up even more.
That's awesome.
I will say, another cool thing is we did that Disney Max Pass or whatever, Fast Pass Max.
Right, yeah,
where
yeah.
you can fast pass the rides on your phone and then you get the photos and everything.
We looked into that.
It was rad. It worked so good.
For us, and I mean, like, at the time, it was like a $40 upgrade or something like that, and we were
it was like $10 a day is what they charge now. I don't know if it was different before.
Yeah, that was our only thing. We were like looking at it and we were like, that seems kind of steep. I don't know.
So for those of you who are Disney people or may not be aware, Disney has a system called Fast Pass, where basically you go to a kiosk at a busy ride and you scan your ticket and it gives you a time to return at. So you don't have to wait the 1 hour or 2 hours, for example, for like, say, Radiator Racers, which is like, and Space Mountain, which are some of the really popular rides. They always minimum have an hour if you're lucky.
Yeah.
And sometimes have a 2 hour wait. Well, if you fast pass the ride, it gives you an hour window to return at, and then you basically wait like 5-10 minutes. You just go through the queue, and then
there's like a fast pass line or whatever.
So it's kind of like, hey, you don't wait for this one, but then you wait for another ride that's half an hour, and it helps you manage getting on all the rides with the minimum amount of wait time. Because you can't fast pass every ride, and when you have a fast pass active, you can't fast pass another ride until a certain time period passes. So, for example, the park opens up at 8 o'clock. You fast pass something as soon as you get in the park. And then it's like, your next fast pass is available at 9:30 a.m. So at 9:30 on the app on your phone, you just fast pass another ride. And depending on the availability of that, you get another time. And same thing, your next fast pass is available at this time. The cool thing about the app, not only is that you get to do it as soon as you are like nearing the park, because it's all location based.
Right.
You don't have to go to the kiosk to fast pass, like if you don't have this feature. Because, before you would have to go run to that, the Guardians ride, fast pass it, waste 20 minutes, half an hour going to that side of the park. And it's like, okay, great. Now we come back in 2 hours to actually go on the ride. Okay, now let's walk across the park to the other thing that we're going to do that we don't have to wait for. So it eliminates that extra step of having to manually go get fast passes.
Okay.
And that you can get them instantly on the phone. Man, I used the system so well. Like, it was awesome. We rode lots of stuff. I think the longest wait we had for anything was like half an hour. It was awesome.
That's really good.
I think it's worth every penny. I was very skeptical on it, and I'm like, oh man, we got suckered. I bought this, and I'm like, no, it's awesome. And then not only that, you get all the Disney PhotoPass photos. So they have like photographers with like professional camera gear around the park, and basically you scan a little QR code on your phone, and basically each day that you have that Max Pass, you get your photos.
Oh, okay.
So you can go online and download them on your phone, high resolution, nice quality photos. And that includes like ride photos, which normally, you'd order and pay for online if you wanted to say you wanted your Space Mountain photo of you guys screaming with weird faces.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all included with that too, so it's really cool.
That's cool, man.
Yeah,
that's
it was awesome
really cool.
trip.
That's good to know about. We'll have to maybe check that out next time we go back.
Time, yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
If anyone was going or were skeptical, there you go. That was wicked. An awesome trip. It was so sad. Our daughter didn't want to come back. She wanted to go to Disneyland the last day. That was hard because she was like crying. I don't want to go home. I want to go to Disneyland.
Yep, that can happen.
So, Dane.
Yo.
What have you been playing?
Oh, dude, it's been a few weeks here. So, I finished off Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Nice.
That's gone. It's done.
Awesome game, right?
Yeah, it was great. I thought it ended really well. I liked there was like a little, there was like a kind of a good twist 3/4 of the way through that I kind of didn't actually see coming, which was cool. There was a little bit of foreshadowing, but I felt like they did a good job of kind of not throwing it in your face. So you were just like, oh, well, this is what this is. I thought that was good. I thought that the end, I won't lie, I feel like it did kind of drag a little bit in kind of the middle. Like, I feel like they kind of could have cut out a little bit of it. It just felt a little bit long. Like, I was playing, and like, I was enjoying it. It was great, but it just kind of felt like some of it wasn't necessarily needed. Like, it was just sort of there as like padding because they didn't maybe feel like it was long enough. Which is fine. Like, small niggle overall. I mean, like, I think my game clock when I finished was, I think it was around 23 or 24 hours.
I can't remember. I'd have to go look.
That I finished it. It was funny. I was having some like huge, like, it actually kind of sucked. I played through a large majority of the game on my old computer, and then I built my new one, and I was like super excited to like get in and play it. And it was going really well, but I kept having these driver crashing issues. And initially, like, it was only happening in Rise of the Tomb Raider. Nothing else was having a problem. So, like, I thought maybe it was just like a weird, like, issue. And then when I was like looking it up, it seemed like right around the time where I switched computers is right around the time where I got to a certain area of the game that people were saying that they were having problems with, like, a bunch of drivers ever since like about a year ago. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's kind of weird. And it was, luckily for me, it wasn't. So what was happening was I would be playing, and then all of a sudden I would get this error that would say your display drivers have stopped working, but Windows has recovered them. But of course, when that happened, it would crash the game to the desktop.
Yeah, you mentioned that last week.
Yeah, and it was like really annoying. But it wasn't annoying enough, and it wasn't happening. Like, sometimes I'd play for 5 minutes and it would happen, and sometimes I would play for an hour and then it would happen. So it wasn't like something that was happening every 5 minutes or something. Usually it would happen, and then it wouldn't happen for a while, and then maybe it would happen, or like, there didn't seem to be any real rhyme or reason. But then once I got past a certain point in the game, it didn't happen at all. Like, we had a holiday here, like, a week or two ago now, and I played almost that whole day and I had no issues whatsoever. So I was like, oh, okay, well, that's exactly what people online were saying were the problem with these drivers and stuff. So I was like, okay, cool. Well, it looks like I kind of got this sorted. That's sweet. I'm good to go now. So I ended up spending way more time trying to troubleshoot that and wasting a bunch of time, which kind of sucked. But I did manage to get it sorted, finished it, enjoyed the game. That was great. Really liked the game a lot. Thought I should preface this with saying I thought that was my problem, but I'll save the second half of that driver story for after we finish talking about it. But no, I really like that game. I'm glad that I finished it before the next one comes out. I think it was really cool that it was a sequel to the first game in the reboot. Mm-hmm. I liked a lot of the stuff that they did. Initially, I was a little bit concerned maybe about with some of the like survival-ish things, but I felt like they didn't take it too far. They just expanded on it a little bit compared to the first game, but they didn't go crazy with it, which I liked. Overall story was great. I liked like how they're kind of building on the Trinity stuff. Overall,
yeah, they definitely build on that in the next game from the little bit that I played as Shadow at E3.
Yeah, and like so, it kind of it. I'm glad that I finished it because I'm really excited to play Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Yeah, it's a month from now.
I know it sucks because I feel like it's going to come out at a really bad time for it. I feel like it's going to get buried. But
Destiny
it is
and Spider-Man.
I know
the first week of December.
I know, and then there's other stuff as well coming like throughout. Yeah, it's like So I finished Rise of the Tomb Raider, and then since we're kind of in a lull right now, I've been playing a bunch of stuff. Nothing really one thing or anything that I can like that I've spent enough time with that I really want to talk about, or nothing that we haven't talked about before.
Yeah.
I did dive into the Black Ops 4 beta last weekend, which I'm assuming...
managed to play a tiny bit on
Did you?
Monday.
Okay. So the second half of my driver conundrum...
Okay, your driver story is related to this. Okay.
Yeah, so I thought it was just related to Rise of the Tomb Raider. So I jumped into the Black Ops 4 beta and turned some stuff on, jumped in a match, played it for not even 5 minutes, and I got the exact same thing. And it would happen every single time. And it was like reproducible, like clockwork.
Could you even like finish a match?
Nope. I was barely able to. There was times when I would get in and it would barely even let me get past the starting area. There was times where like so last weekend on Saturday, I went into full on, I am going to figure this shit out
mode. What the F is going on? This is annoying.
And I
got to figure this out because I don't have a video card coming immediately.
Exactly. And I was like, this is effed up. What is going on? Like brand new computer.
You obviously did a clean install on this machine.
Brand new install, brand new computer. I have like...
So you've got all the newest drivers.
Yep. I also I had tested my machine. I stress tested the crap out of it, so I knew it wasn't overheating. I wasn't any issues with my processor or my RAM because I managed to get my second stick or my second set of 16 gigs of RAM. So I've got 32 gigs of RAM now. So that's done. So literally, I am just waiting on my video card at this point.
What was
turns out it was my factory overclock on my video card. As soon as I backed it off 15 megahertz, stable as a rock, played Black Ops 4 beta for the rest of the day. Not a single issue.
Did you forget that you had overclocked it?
I did not. That's what I'm saying. It's a factory overclocked video card. Like it came from the factory.
So is it just that it's warmer in your case, maybe?
I have no idea. The only thing I can think of is that the only time I've seen it or had an issue is like one was with Rise of the Tomb Raider and with the Black Ops 4 beta now, which are both like much
a little more
newer games. And I'm wondering if there's a certain, like the way that those games are built architecturally and the way they push through, like they push the stuff through my video card, whether it's the way like the pixels render or their voxels or like what it is that is like the effect. But I wonder if it's pushing a certain part of my video card harder than it essentially ever has been before. And so that overclock has been, like I said, because it's stock from the factory. That's the way the card comes, right?
Yeah.
And I never touched it. So
cool, you figured it out.
So
it wasn't enough that your performance has been hit by turning it off.
No. I mean, it's got a factory overclock of like 50 megahertz, which gives it like an extra, 5% or 6% or whatever it is.
Depends on the game, obviously.
Yeah, so I mean, I just backed it off like 20 megahertz, and it's been rock solid.
Sweet. Well, that's good.
So I did manage to play the Black Ops 4 beta. After that, it was smooth as butter, and it's been rock solid ever since.
I only played 2 matches.
Okay, wow.
Because my kid woke up, and I thought it was on all day Monday when I got back. But it was only on until 10 o'clock.
Yeah, 10 a.m.
So I only had enough time to squeak in 2 matches, but it's Call of Duty Black Ops. It seemed pretty all right. It played really well on my computer. Like, I was well north of 100 frames per second.
That good. Yeah.
So there was some lag, but overall it was super smooth. That was okay. I don't know. Like, I honestly didn't get to play enough to have a really good opinion.
Yeah. For me, like I ran into, I think the problem was like for me, I played a bunch. Like I played probably a few hours on Saturday once I got my issues sorted out. Played a bit of Team Deathmatch, played a bit of the I don't want to say headquarters, but I know that's not what it is. It was like the capture and hold, like the control.
Kind of like domination or whatever.
Yeah, you like control
domination, or did it have a different name?
It has a different name. I want to say it's called Control or something like that.
Maybe it is Control.
Yeah, so I played a bunch of the different modes, played a variety of the different characters. I think I finished the beta. I was at like level 8 or something like that. I think there was a hard cap of 10 for the beta. I'm not sure, but so I mean, I'd unlocked some stuff. That is one thing I will say. Like I liked was the unlock system again. Felt good. Like it was that just play and things unlock as you play, as you level. Every time you level, things unlock. It wasn't this like get currency and then like spend it on things. I get both sides of that one where I understand like some people like the idea of, well, I can unlock only the stuff that I want to unlock and I don't need to spend it on other things that I don't care about. My problem is that I just unlock a few things that I want, and then for me, I don't really care about unlocking anything else. So for me, I'm just like, well, I don't really have any real reason to keep playing. I've unlocked the stuff that I want, and I don't really care. Like, so for me, the fact that they kind of gate it the way that first Modern Warfare did in Black Ops, or sorry, not Black Ops, but in Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, I like that. I like the fact that there's a gun out there that I can see, and I'm like, okay, I need to get to level 40 to unlock that because that's what I want.
So,
and I like that personally.
Yeah. I didn't get to play enough, obviously, to get into the kill streak class ability stuff.
Yeah.
There's all like different character classes, right?
Well, that's the thing, is there is character classes, but you can also pick your loadout. So you'll have those character classes and their abilities, but you'll have your own loadout. Yeah, but are separate, exactly, from the weapons, right? So you can get, so that's kind of what I meant with like the leveling up. You get weapons and your weapons level up, and you can add attachments and so on and so forth. The gameplay itself, one thing that I found for me was they took out wall running, they took out double jumping, which, as I understand, a lot of people were really happy about. Unfortunately, the way the game flows and the way the game plays, it feels like it should have that stuff in it. And I don't know how many times I tried double jumping a lot in like even when I towards the end of my playing, when I realized, okay, there's clearly no more, like, this is clearly not a thing.
I saw someone grappling, and I think it must have been.
There is a grapple hook. There is a grapple hook that you can unlock. It's not the same though. I don't know. It was funny.
The time to kill is quite high as well.
They definitely. Well, they've added like a stim system now, so when you can attack a guy, and if you manage to walk away from a fight but you're low on health, you can hit the button and you'll essentially give yourself a stim pack, and it'll give yourself health.
You stay low on health.
That will, I believe that actually recharges. Like if you manage to, like if you manage to kill another guy, I believe it recharges.
So but your health doesn't recharge automatically unless you have that.
Yeah, that is the key. Your health does not recharge slowly like in the other games. Like you actually have a health bar, and when you get into a fight, that will go down. And if you stim yourself, that will go back up. So it's a kind of an interesting concept there. I don't know. Personally, I walked away from it going, I think I should reinstall Titanfall 2.
Oh, yeah. Because that's awesome.
Because it had enough of that vibe, but I feel like because they took out the movement stuff, the double jumps and the wall runs, it kind of felt, I don't know. It felt like a step back in a weird way.
Yeah. It is kind of weird coming off of World War II, which is back to what this is, kind of no double jumps, no wall runs. It's like, obviously it's got some of the tech and advanced stuff that World War II doesn't have, but it is primarily on the ground. I don't know. I didn't get to play enough to really say neither here nor there. I'm like, yeah, I played enough to be like, yep, that's a Call of Duty game.
Right.
I'm keeping it installed because, September 10th apparently is when the blackout beta happens. So if you have it installed, it's going to update for that beta.
Yeah. So I'm in a similar boat.
Well, that's it. The thing I'm most interested in this game is that blackout mode.
Right.
That's what's going to sell this game to me. And if I like that beta, then I'm getting it. If I don't like that beta, I'm probably going to pass because I played the campaigns.
Yeah, and I
don't think my friends aren't. They were all Infinity Ward, Call of Duty
Advanced
fans,
Warfare,
and they've all like
Modern Warfare 1 and 2
off.
guys, and they've all moved on since then.
They've all long dropped off. Yeah,
yeah. That's my old crew is in a similar boat.
Sorry, my computer monitor like tried going to sleep.
Oh,
like, what?
Got to move that mouse.
I was going to say, I'm like, I'm sitting here, obviously doing something stupid, computer. Yeah. So yeah, we'll have more to say when the next beta happens.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong. Like if you're into Call of Duty and you're looking for that Black Ops 2 vibe, it's got a lot more of that. It feels a lot more like Black Ops 2 than 3 or Advanced Warfare or any of those ones did. So if that's your jam and you're wishing that they would make a Black Ops 2 multiplayer that's better, then this might be your game.
I think that's what that fan base wants, and that's what they're appealing to, is their biggest, most hardcore fan base.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it was a little bit hard because after I finished playing on Saturday, I pretty much walked away from it and I was like, okay, I'm good.
Enough.
Like I didn't feel, it wasn't one of those games where like the beta was going to end and I was like, oh no, the beta's ending. I got to try and get as much in as I can. Like I want to play more. And then it ended and I was like, yes. Oh man, I need to go pre-order that right now. I want more of that. For me, it was really just like, okay, well, that was fun. Maybe I should reinstall Titanfall 2 because that was a really great game. And man, the movement in that was awesome. Like that's kind of how it felt for me, at least. Like I didn't feel the need or that desire to keep playing it after the beta. Like, and the beta wasn't even over. I just, at a certain point on Saturday, I was like, okay, well, I'm kind of done with this. I'm gonna play something else now.
I'm gonna play something where my progress carries over.
Yeah, exactly.
I've only got so much time to game. I'm not gonna throw all my time away.
Totally. Yeah, I played enough where I got like a good feel and stuff, but not enough to So that was kind of my thoughts on the Black Ops currently, at least. We'll see. Like you said, that Blackout, I'm definitely keeping it installed because I am curious how that's going to work and what that's going to look like. So we'll have some more thoughts then.
When we went, you also had Witcher 3 on there, but what more can we say? That game's amazing.
Dude, I am like bad. That has hooked me so bad.
You never beat it, did you?
No, I think I checked. My game clock right now is at 48 hours. I am in the Skellige Islands.
Yeah, that's a cool area.
I'm having a hard time. I'm trying to really, because there is so much stuff to do in that game. You could spend years playing it and probably never see everything. So I'm trying really hard to limit myself to only the main side missions at this point.
Oh, there's so much stuff to do on the side.
And only only sort of the contracts, like the big Witcher contracts that, because those, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of those, but as you play through the game, it seems like there is certain contracts that kind of like match up to the level that you're at, or close to the level that you're at. Yeah. So I'm trying to do those as I kind of go along. So like I have a big list of contracts, but they're all 5 to 10 levels ahead of where I am right now. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to worry about those. These are the ones that are in my area. These are the ones in Skellige or whatever. So I've done like a bunch of those ones. And I'm trying to, I don't want to completely just like mainline the main quest, because like, let's be honest, that there's so much to that game that I kind of want to see. Like I almost feel like mainlining it would be a disservice.
I want to play it again, almost play it completely again, because I didn't have my ultra wide when I played it the first time.
Oh.
And I've loaded up since and played a little bit, and I'm like, oh, this looks so good. I think maybe I should just buy the DLC. I never ended up buying the DLC for it.
Yeah, like the Blood and Wine, I hear, is amazing DLC. Like I heard it's like it's an incredible game unto itself. So yeah, I dove back into that, and that hooked me so hard. I don't know. We're in this weird lull right now, right? Where I was like, okay, I feel like there's some stuff that I kind of missed earlier in the year, but I don't have a real pull to purchase it or to get a hold of it and play it. You know, I did the Far Cry 5 already. I skipped Monster Hunter. I'm really holding off trying to not get wrapped up in the FOMO of getting that on PC. There's a part of me that feels like
I might get it on sale when it goes on sale, but I don't have the time for it.
That's the thing, as I know, right, like we're right on the cusp of like huge games coming out very soon, and I'm going to be swamped again, and I'm not going to be able to play any of it. So I'm like, you know what? I want to take this opportunity to go back. You know, I finished Rise of the Tomb Raider now. That's great. And I was just like looking through my games list, and I'm like, there is some huge, awesome games that I've never managed to finish. Let's get those out of the way. Like I almost jumped into Assassin's Creed Black Flag, because anybody that's listened to the podcast knows that's one I own on 3 platforms, but have never actually played.
So good.
I know. But the reason I didn't
love that
is
game.
because I don't want to get Assassin's Creeded out, because I know that Odyssey is coming in October, or in October. So that's like,
have you beaten Origins?
Yeah, I beat Origins. Huge game clock. Remember. That was my game of the year last year. Huge game clock. I've dropped like 80 plus hours into Origins. Awesome. And into some of the DLC. I have yet to finish the DLC that they did release. But I didn't want to get like Assassin's Creeded out. Like I was trying to, you know, I beat that in like...
can definitely happen, because that happened to me.
Totally, right?
After Black Flag, I was burnt out because like I didn't care too much for Unity and Syndicate, though Syndicate was actually good. I was just like,
yeah. So
I can't motivate myself to play this.
So I'm trying really hard. I didn't want to get burnt out on that. So I was like, you know what? I feel like, I mean, I know that I'm not going to have enough time to finish Witcher 3 before some of these other games come out, but at least I can do a much bigger dent in it than... And at least get 3/4 of the way. Like, it's so big, though.
It's a freaking rad game.
But yeah, that's the thing. And like, so yeah.
That's what makes me so excited for Cyberpunk. Is because it's the same dudes. And sci-fi is like my freaking jam.
Yeah. There's just so many, like, incredible things about that game. Yeah. Anyways, we can talk more about it another time. I see that you've got some interesting things on this list. Like, talk to me about...
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, before I left for Disneyland, I picked up Chasm.
Right.
I was actually going to pick up Dead Cells, interesting story, for the 3rd time, but I didn't. Because the stupid pre-order... I don't know, it came out on Tuesday.
Right.
I already have it. I got it early on PS4 and was embargoed and couldn't talk about it. But they didn't have enough code for Switch, so I was like, I'll just buy it on Switch. But I also had my reservations about Dead Cells on Switch, because I'm like, this game is pretty intense. I'm pretty sure, I have a feeling the Switch is going to have issues with it, which I was right about, the feeling I had. But regardless, it's such a good game. I'm like, I'm going to buy it to take on my trip.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So Monday night I'm packing and this and that. It's like, pre-order now and get 20% off. And it's like, sweet. It's like $22 or $24. Not a big deal. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, by the time I finished packing and got around to it, it's like, the game's not out till Tuesday still. And the pre-order promotion like disappeared.
Oh.
And it was like $36.99. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
I'm like,
okay, well, I'm like, $40 of tax compared to 22 is like, now I got to think about it, because I already own this game twice. You know, I bought it on PC when it was in early access. Mm-hmm. I was supplied a PS4 code, obviously, but I'm like, oh. And I had some credit on PS4, and Chasm was out, and that was kind of like on my radar for a Metroidvania as well.
Okay.
And believe it or not, I took my Vita on my trip to Disneyland.
Nice.
Actually, I downloaded it Monday night, I think, or Monday. It came out, I believe it came out on Tuesday.
Okay.
But I think it was playable on like at 9 at night or whatever, because I swear I was playing it that night, but I can't remember.
Right.
But yeah, I had it on my Vita and took my Vita with me and played Chasm start to finish on Vita.
Oh, nice. So how is it? I'm hearing
the reception split out there, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
The reception split because Hollow Knight and Dead Cells are freaking amazing games.
Right.
So it makes Chasm just seem okay. Had Dead Cells or Hollow Knight just recently come out on Switch, or both games have actually been out for a long time, but they're really in the zeitgeist right now with the Switch releases. Because Hollow Knight came out on PC at least a year ago, and I think Dead Cells came out on early access like 2 years ago now.
Right.
God damn it, computer, stop. I really got to fix this in here. My monitor cut out again. So, yeah, if if Hollow Knight and Dead Cells weren't in the zeitgeist right now, I think Chasm would have been well received. So Chasm is a pixel art 2D Metroidvania with some roguelike elements in. Not really. It's just the levels are randomly generated, but there is some handcrafted areas to the levels.
So as I understand it, it's like the levels are kind of made up of almost like blocks, and each block is handmade, but how the blocks sort of get put together is random. Yeah. And it's like there's certain blocks that are always in the same place, but it's like the in-between blocks are always randomly generated. Is my understanding is kind of how
and you get a world seed,
right?
That you can share with other people. So, like, if you want to play my exact version, I can give you the code, and you can play my exact version of the game.
Oh, interesting. Now, okay.
Because of that, the level design is not that great.
Right.
It's just okay. The levels are not very memorable.
Well, it's because let's be honest, most of the time when you play a Castlevania or a Metroid game, it's like, I would say probably 80% of those games is level design. It's where stuff is going to go, absolutely, and how you're going to get there, and the flow and everything, right?
So before we really get into that, like, it's competent. It's got a nice pixel art style.
I feel like I played it last year at PAX.
We've played it at PAX before. Okay. I don't know which. It's been at like 5 PAXs. So yeah. I think it started development like 4 or 5 years ago.
Right.
It's Castlevania Symphony of the Night. It's clearly like you've got the slide, dodge. You got like some of the same like weapons, like boomerang, axe, knife, holy water. It like weapon and equipping. The attack animation looks almost identical if you're using a sword to Alucard's attack animation. It's so much of a love letter to Symphony of the Night.
Right.
Except for, like I said, the levels are just, they're fine. They're totally serviceable, but they kind of feel kind of drab. They're not super amazingly detailed like Symphony of the Night. The music is just, it's just there.
Oh, okay.
Like, coming off of Symphony of the Night, it's got this amazing soundtrack that's insanely good.
Right.
And then Chasm's just like, like Hollow Knight, amazing world that is built. And some people don't like it. I think Hollow Knight's fantastic world they created, though not the most colorful. I think it's amazing, that hand-drawn style. And the music is freaking rad in Hollow Knight, too.
Yeah.
So then it's like coming from a game like that to this is like, oh man, but it's a competent, decent Metroid game. It's a solid 7. If it had better music and better level design, the randomness to the level design, I don't think is good enough to really. I think they would have been better off just creating fully pre-authored world,
right?
Because then it would have felt more lived in and more like alive.
Well, and they could have designed it from A to B, and
they could have designed it
exactly how they wanted it, right?
Instead of spending all their time tackling how to create this engine that randomizes the world, they could have just spent all that time in creating a really nice handcrafted world, right? I feel like that hook is not enough it's not good enough to be like, oh, you got to play this game because it's this randomized world that is generated. It's really cool. It's just like, It's like, yeah, it does this thing, but I don't know. It's like, it's not good enough of a feature to be like, that's its hook and that's what makes it amazing. I think the game suffers because of that. I think it was a cool idea and concept, and I don't know, in my opinion, I think they probably should have pulled the chute on it and made a 100% handcrafted world.
Yeah.
Because, like, there's story elements. You're saving villagers in the mines that have been abducted. It's got a competent story. I wouldn't say it's amazing. And I think it would have been better if it was 100% handcrafted. Yeah, in my opinion. But
no, that's kind of
plays
what it,
well.
I've heard. You're not the first person to tell me that. Unfortunately,
it plays well. It wasn't hard.
Right.
Maybe if I wasn't such a crazy Metroidvania nut, considering I've played like 50 this year, I may have just passed on it. So maybe
right.
Maybe it's because I'm into these kinds of games. Like maybe someone who isn't in these kind of games would have been like, this is kind of drab. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I played through it and then beat it during the whole trip. Will I play it again? I don't know. It's cross-buy PS4 Vita, which is nice. Cross-save.
Oh, that's good.
Took just under 10 hours to beat.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad then.
I didn't do everything. I only think 50 or 60% of the trophies. You can still go back and do stuff after you beat the game or start a new game. There's different modes. The boss fights were okay. They're not very memorable. Like, it cribs so much of Symphony of the Night in terms of animation and controls and playstyle, but it's like it doesn't steal enough. It needs the better music, and the amazing boss fights are just missing. There's not that many boss fights to begin with.
Interesting. Okay.
But it controls well, it looks well, or it has nice graphics, has a nice style.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the world just kind of feels kind of meh because of the way it's generated. It doesn't, I don't know.
Fair enough, man.
Like I said, I'd say it's probably like a solid 7. It's a good game, not an amazing game. And it would probably be better, like I said, if it said Hollow Knight and Dead Cells were like, didn't exist right now, it might have been better.
Right.
Maybe not. I don't know. It's just Hollow Knight's amazing, which I already gushed about weeks ago when I played it. And now Dead Cells, which I talked about before, but that was early access.
That was when I was I was going to say
version.
That was still in early access, right? So
yeah, Dead Cells is freaking awesome. Oh my god. It is so good. It does have amazing music. It does have amazing combat. Its roguelike randomly generated system is amazing for whatever reason. I don't know why it seemed it is pulled off much better than Chasm's.
I've heard
because it's the same kind of thing. It's got.
What I heard from some other people was one of the reasons that for Dead Cells it works is that Dead Cells, the point of the game is the combat, whereas Chasm it's got this exploratory vibe thing going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of backtracking in Chasm. There's no backtracking in Dead Cells.
Yeah, where like the point of Chasm wasn't just the combat, where like that is the focus of the game in Dead Cells, and that was kind of what somebody kind of likened it. That's kind of how it was explained, anyways. Was they were just like, well, that's a big reason why it works.
It's fast, frantic, 2D combat. Again, it's a pixel art style game. It has a really awesome style. The music's fantastic, and like it's fast. Basically, you have 2 different weapon slots and then 2 special weapon slots and a dodge. So it's kind of like some people say it's like a Souls-like, but maybe in difficulty. I don't know. I don't think it's that hard. I have made it to the end boss. It is kind of like has speedrunning aspects to it.
I've heard the end of that game can be a mother.
The end boss was no joke. I did not do very well against him. But the whole point of the game is it's a roguelite Metroidvania. Not so much in that the stuff it borrows from Metroidvania is there are permanent unlocks or skills. Like there's a wall jump and there's a ground pound that smashes the ground and opens new areas. There's a teleport. There's some other like permanent skills you unlock. And I would say that would be the Metroidvania type stuff. These permanent skills allow you to access new areas.
Right.
But it isn't, it's stage based. You've got you start in the prison. You can leave the prison one of two ways, which takes you to another area. And then the areas have some areas that are the same kind of concept as Chasm. This is always the same and this is always here. But then the rest of this is randomly generated, but it's more like just a straight stage. Get to an end, invest. As you're fighting enemies, you get souls. Between stages, you're forced to spend all your souls to unlock, new upgrades and so forth.
You mean your dead cells?
Yeah, your dead cells. Basically, when you start out, you just have a sword.
Right.
You have a melee slot. Actually, it can be 2 melee weapons, or you can go ranged in both your primary slots. And then you've got your special weapons, which are like grenades, traps, turrets. What else is it? There's other stuff as well. There's so many different weapons.
And I've heard that at
those
the
are
beginning,
all part of
even though you unlock
spears,
stuff,
swords.
At the beginning,
it's
always random what you end up getting, right?
So basically, when you spawn, you start with the balance blade, which is like a fast slashing blade.
Right.
And when you kill enemies and you get souls, what happens is in between, you meet the collector in between levels, and he forces you to spend your souls. And it's like, okay, spend 20 souls and you unlock a health flask. Oh, now I can heal my health once.
Right, during my run or whatever.
And then after you do that, the cost goes up. There's another level to that ability, right? You can unlock random swords to spawn on like your next playthrough. So like when you die, you go back to the start. Instead of the balance blade, now it's a claymore.
Okay, right, yeah.
But you have to also get blueprints to these weapons that you find randomly from killing enemies or in rooms or fighting elite monsters. And you also have to purchase these from the collector, so they kind of drop into the rotation.
Right.
So if you don't invest any points in the random melee weapon slot, it'll always be the balance blade. I don't know if anyone has ever done that, because the balance blade is good, though you want these other cooler, more powerful weapons.
I hear the whip is a good one. A lot of people have talked about the whip
whip's
being
pretty
awesome.
cool. I got the whip on one of my really good playthroughs, like an electric type whip.
Oh,
sweet! Basically is almost like heat seeking, long range kind of whip that like would just hit enemies no matter where they were, which is pretty rad. It was amazing. It was a legendary that I got after beating the first boss. Mm-hmm. Weapons have stats, they have perks, they have all kinds of plus damage to frozen enemies. There's ice, there's fire, there's different modifiers to attacks and weapons. This game is so freaking awesome. It controls so good, it plays so good. And, it's all about dying and repetition, but as you're dying, you're getting better because you're unlocking better stuff. So at first, the prison seemed really hard. Right? But now that I've got health flasks, now that I've got better random starting weapons, now that I have a better grasp of the dodge system, like enemies have a tell, like when they're going to attack, and then you dodge.
Right.
And you have invincibility frames, right?
Yeah,
you can dodge and you're invincible. If you're patient and aren't totally rushing and don't panic, like you can like not get hit at all. You can dodge attacks not super easily with like tougher enemies later on, but at the start of the game, as you keep fighting these monsters, you know their tells, you know how to avoid all their damage. The prison's like a cakewalk. You speed run it, you know, at the point I'm at now. It's like a cakewalk.
Well, that's cool.
Actually, I can get quite far now. Like I think the first 3 or 4 stages and the first 2 bosses, I have no problems with. And there's different builds, like you can go range, you can go melee, and the randomness of the weapons is like, it's always changing. New weapons drop, you can swap on the fly, you can purchase weapons, there's shops in the levels, there's treasure chests in the levels.
Sweet.
But it's so fluid, and the music's awesome, and the combat's amazing. You bash enemies, and they explode, and you slam the ground, and the ground pound dizzies enemies, and you throw grenades and stuff explodes awesome, and everything just looks so cool and feels so good. It's an awesome game, man. It's so good. I'm still like I'm still fighting buying it on Switch. Like, I kind of want to buy it, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, you've been playing it so much on PS4 now. It's kind of invested because I've got a lot of unlocks on the PS4 version now.
Right. I've also heard the Switch one is maybe got some issues that it sounds like they're working on, but
the frame rate apparently drops quite bad in some of the higher later stages of the game. And to be honest, on PS4 I've noticed the frame rate stutter a couple times.
Wow.
The PC version is easily the smoothest version,
the one to play.
Yeah, when I'm playing it, I don't understand how the Nvidia frame counter works sometimes, but my frames are in the 500-600s.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's ridiculous. In the collector's area, like the non-combat stages, it tells me I have a frame rate of like 1100, 1200.
Wow.
I don't even know how that's freaking possible.
It seems like a
crazy.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's super smooth on PC. I have never noticed it dip.
That's awesome.
I did start a new save there because before I was playing the early access version. I am disappointed that it doesn't have ultra wide support.
Oh, it doesn't.
Even on the 1.0 version, but
wow.
I don't know. I think ultra wide would change
because you're seeing so much more of the stuff on the side.
Yeah,
it almost give you. Yeah,
it might make the game easier, give you an advantage. So I don't know. Maybe that's why they don't have it. I should look into if they're gonna support it or not. But yeah, I really like Dead Cells. It's a dope game, and there's so many little secrets and stuff. Like, I don't want to spoil. They've added a bunch of story stuff that wasn't really in the early access stuff.
Yeah, I've flat out heard that it is a 2D Dark Souls, pretty much.
It is and it isn't. It is in that you die and you rinse and repeat and you get better, but it's not that hard. As you progress and unlock stuff, the game does get easier.
Yeah.
And I don't think, I've gotten better clearly, but I don't think it's just that. I think it's the unlocks make that much of a difference.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah.
And
I'm on the fence about like picking it up. There's like a part of me that's like, oh man, I should probably play it. But then there's like another part of me that's like, is it like, if it's going to be one of these, am I really going to? I don't know.
I'm sure if you tried, you could get a code.
Yeah.
Ask on PC, and I'm pretty sure they won't say no. Consoles, they might be a little more limited on code, but I bet you if you ask for PC code, you'd get it.
I think
I think you should check it out. It's an awesome game.
Yeah.
I love it. Like, it's a good 9.
Wow. Yeah.
If not, maybe even like a 9.5. I think the only weakness of this game is I don't think it's the longest game in the world, but can't be too long with the random whole aspect of the game. Otherwise, that like might be too frustrating.
Yeah, I've heard
but they're always
were able to do it in, was it like under an hour, I think?
Yeah.
But I mean, they're speedrunners, so I mean, take that as you will.
Yeah, like there's a whole risk reward thing in this game. Like as you progress through levels, you can rush through a level and there's these doors that are time gated, and if you don't get there in a certain amount of time, they lock.
Right.
And usually there's like powerful weapons and tons of souls or currency hidden behind these doors. I've gotten one a couple times in the second stage because, like I said, the first stage is now a breeze, so getting to that first door is not that hard.
Right.
But I assume they get even more crazier as you go along. But the problem is if you rush through the levels to get to those,
you're also missing the stuff in the actual level.
You're missing out on the power. You're missing out on power ups and currency and stuff that might make you tougher, right? So I think that's where the risk reward with those gated timed doors,
right? That's fair.
Man, such a cool game, and it has fantastic tunes. The music's rad.
Yeah,
and it just feels so freaking good. I can't get over how good it feels. It's so responsive.
Yeah, it's
like a 2D fighter, like if anything, more so than like a Metroidvania, though it does have Metroid aspects to it.
Right.
But it's a freaking dope game.
Yeah.
I recommend everyone check it out. It's my favorite game right now. I want to go play more right now.
Fair enough, man.
And then I guess the last thing quickly, we played some Stick Fight, the game, on Steam for our games night.
Oh, okay.
It's along the lines of, if you remember me talking about Duck Fight a long time ago.
Yeah, I remember that. It's like super zany, kind of over the top.
This is a 2D multiplayer versus physics-based like beat 'em up. Basically, you control a little stick man, which has a little weight to him, and there's a lot of physics in the way you jump and interact with the world and the platforms and stuff.
Right.
And basically, you have an attack button and you like punch. Basically, wherever you're aiming the mouse, or in this instance, I'm playing with the controller, the right stick.
Oh, okay.
You punch. So, like, if you're holding up, you punch straight up, and if you hold the left, you're punching left, and basically, you're just trying to kill each other.
Right.
And the stages, like, just they're not random because I think we played like 300 games.
Oh, wow.
Because it tallies your scores, and like we each had over 100 victories. So like the levels are quick. They can be over like in a couple seconds, or they can be like super long.
Right.
Meanwhile, you're avoiding spikes, random traps, all kinds of stuff in these 2D levels. And then random weapons are like spawning in, or they're there when the level loads in, and it's a mad dash to go get the machine gun and kill the other guys, or the sword, or the laser sword and whatnot.
Okay.
And just hilarity ensues because of the physics and bouncing around, and it's like a little bit of Smash Brothers in that you send guys flying across the screen. The weapons are ridiculous. It was fun.
It sounds
it's
fun.
A fun game. I had a good time. It's like it's $5.50 or $5.49, some weird price.
Oh wow, okay.
Canadian. So I imagine it's like $4.99 American. It's super cheap. But if you have some buddies to play, it's a freaking riot.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a fun game. I was like, I don't want to buy this stupid game.
It might be a fun game to do at like one of our work LAN nights one day or something.
Oh god, yeah. If you got 4, we played 3 people because someone didn't show up.
Oh yeah, we usually have like 8 guys or whatever.
It's got a 9. It's got a 9 out of 10 on Steam.
Oh wow,
with like 16,000 very positive reviews.
That's a lot of very positive reviews.
Yeah, and we played online multiplayer. There's local multiplayer.
Awesome. Okay.
Split screen, yeah, controller support. You can play with keyboard and mouse. Maybe I'll put a link to the Steam page in the podcast show notes so you can see what I meant about the hilarity. Yeah, like I was crying, laughing with some of the deaths.
Oh, that's awesome.
The way the world like is destructive and destructible, and yeah, it's ridiculous. And you'll have some crazy like you thought you had the match, and then your buddy manages to kill you in the most ridiculous way and have like an insane comeback. And sometimes it looks really freaking cool. I put a freaking link in the show notes so you guys can check that out. I think it's only on...
Is it only on Steam or
Steam.
on PC?
I think it's just I think it's just on PC. I don't think it's anywhere else. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, that's about it. Dane, I think with that, we can get into some news. News. So, the rumors are true. Fortnite on Android does not use Google Play.
I'm not surprised because they get to keep 30% of everything they make on that game, which is a lot to hand over to Google
for doing nothing.
Essentially just...
Well, they do a lot, but when you can do it all yourself, why give away money?
Yeah.
Kind of, I don't know. The only thing I don't like about this is 2 things. One, it was tied to the Galaxy Note 9 announcement. So if you have a Galaxy device, I think Galaxy 7 and newer, you can actually play the game now. All other Android devices, you have to sign up for the beta and then waiting on an invite, which...
Oh, is it? I thought it was like a week or 2 week thing or something, as I understood it.
No, well, maybe in a week or 2 it'll be open to everyone, but as of right now, it's like a closed beta essentially, unless you have loaded on a Galaxy device.
Yeah, but I thought it was only like a 2 week thing or something like that. Like it wasn't that long, and they were going to be opening up to everybody.
No, they opened up the application, and you can preload it on the 12th.
Oh, okay.
Which I have done. but I can't play it yet because I haven't been invited
Right.
yet, which is annoying. I could technically load it on my Galaxy S7, but I don't want to because I don't care that much.
Right.
But yeah. Anyway.
Yeah,
It's not on the store. People are going to wreck their phones. I'm waiting for once the wider release happens for these stores to crop up.
Oh yeah.
Clearly it's not widely available, so
I'm expecting that there's going to be a whole lot of people that end up with a bunch of malware on their phones because they went and thought they had the right download for this game.
Absolutely. I almost thought I was downloading it from somewhere weird when I was downloading it. I'm like, why do I have to download an installer?
Yeah. No, you absolutely
this
will.
Is just weird. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm like, oh well. I'm like,
That's
hopefully someone doesn't know.
I mean,
someone did.
Their argument is like people do this on PC all the time and they've figured it out and it's fine. And my whole thought is like, yes, but also people get a whole bunch of malware on PC as well because they're idiots and they download the wrong
as
shit.
Savvy as Epic likes to think their player base is, the majority of them are not.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see long term how this goes for them. But hey, I do also want to point out that I feel like we're quickly running towards a future where every publisher has their own launcher and everybody has their own launcher, and
I'm going to have my own launcher.
Yeah, we're going to end up with our own launcher because why the fuck not? Get the Geekoholics Anonymous fucking launcher and we'll take 20% off the top and sell you nothing, but you know, hey, 20% of nothing, it's still nothing, so I guess we're winning. I don't fucking know. But you get my point.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, it's so weird now where you've got Epic with their launcher, Blizzard's got their launcher, they're pulling, Black Ops is not going to be showing up on Steam. It's only going to be showing up on the, Battle.net launcher now. Obviously the EA stuff's on their launcher. Ubisoft is slowly, they're slowly building. They're still releasing stuff on Steam, but it always installs their launcher.
Who knows?
So
that'll probably change
exactly.
one day.
So I mean, I feel like they're just setting it up for the future
when they feel competent enough to say bye-bye Steam.
Yeah, I feel like this is, I don't know. And it was such a revelation when Steam came out because the whole idea behind it was, hey, you just got one. You don't have to go download 25 different launchers to get all your games. You just have the one. And now we're going away from that. So yeah, I don't know. It sucks. That's all I'm getting at.
Speaking of launchers.
Yep.
Discord launched its own store.
See, this is what I'm fucking talking about.
And apparently, it is also getting like free if you're a Discord. Is it Nitro? If you're you can subscribe to Discord.
Really? I did not even know that.
$5 a month. It gives you like special emotes and a bunch of like, I don't know.
Man, I had no idea.
Special features. I think if I paid for Nitro, I could get us like a short-linked Discord channel. I don't know.
Okay, interesting.
No, but they're going to be giving away like indie games every month, kind of like Twitch and stuff. They do have a store now where you can buy games.
Oh, that was the other one. Twitch. They have their own fucking launcher now.
Yeah, Twitch has their own. They've had that for a while now. It's on my stupid computer.
Yeah, that reminds me that I played Battle Chef Brigade, but we'll talk about that next week.
So, yeah, Discord's getting in on the action as well. But, I'm not going to complain. I think Discord's rad. And this is an inevitability. If you play PC games, you have multiple launchers. Like, I don't know, there's some people who are like, I only play Steam. And it's like, well, that's fine and dandy. So I guess you're not going to play with us tonight. See you later.
Yeah.
Like, it would be nice if they could all intermingle a little better, but, you know, this is capitalism and everyone wants to control wants to be the gatekeeper and make all the money. So.
Yeah, I mean, to some extent, I get it. I also just kind of worry, like, some of these companies are going to go away and then you're not going to be able to get access to any of those games.
Yeah, that's it too.
Like, at least with Steam, it's tried and true, and you know that it's not going anywhere. So you're like, I'm kind of comfortable giving them my money because
this is true.
I know I'm going to be able to access those games. I mean, I guess one could argue that even if those companies went away, even if I purchase those games on Steam, then the stupid, back end stuff that makes those games work probably isn't going to work anymore, and I probably couldn't play them anyways. But I don't know.
Yeah, and you hope if that happens, they patch it so that it can just run.
Yeah,
right?
kind of like when they rip out the games for Windows Live stuff, right?
Oh, God, what a disaster that was.
Yeah, it was not great.
Moving along. Evo and QuakeCon happened while we were gone.
Well, you were gone.
So there were some announcements. Street Fighter announced some new characters, which I don't really care about talking about that much. There's other, I think Dragon Ball. I think every fighting game had some kind of drop. Just the one I thought was kind of interesting was Negan is coming to Tekken 7, and like not comic book Negan from The Walking Dead, like the TV show.
Really?
Negan. That's kind of cool because Negan on the TV show is a pretty fantastic freaking character. They only teased it. They didn't show any gameplay.
Okay.
And he's part of their I guess their second season or season pass or something. Yeah, the season 2 pass coming soon. I have Tekken 7. I think I've played it twice.
I hear really good things about Tekken 7.
It's awesome, but I don't know. I just don't have all the boys coming over physically like they used to, and that's when we used to play Tekken 6 and Smash and stuff, right?
I can't remember the last time I had somebody over and we were like playing video games together. It's been a long time, so
maybe when the new Smash comes out, we'll get on that. But yeah, Evo sounded like fun. I was at Disneyland, so I was busy doing shit, so I couldn't watch it, but it sounded like it was a pretty cool event. I've always wanted to go to one because I do have a love for, fighting games. I grew up in the arcade Mortal Kombat Street Fighter 2 heyday.
Yeah.
I was part of that scene, which is something that will never exist again, but
I
guess Evo's the closest thing to replacing that.
kind of miss those days.
But yeah, I've always wanted to go. And I think it's in Vegas.
It is. Yeah.
Which makes it not probably a little more affordable than a lot of shit I go to.
I know. It's too bad it couldn't have happened when I'm going to be there in like 2 weeks or 4 weeks or whatever it is now.
You're going to Vegas in
in September.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It's literally the weekend. We get back from PAX and I leave the following weekend to go to Vegas.
My buddy's in Vegas right now. Let's see. Okay, so QuakeCon, Bethesda showed some gameplay to Doom Eternal. Did you have a chance to look at that?
Yeah, I watched through some of it. I got through a bit of it and I went like,
they had a lot of footage.
Yeah, man, that was like almost 20 minutes or something. Like it really went on for a while. Kind of to the point where I was like, I don't need to see all of this. Like, you kind of sold me.
I was the exact
like,
same thing. I'm like,
within the first couple,
okay, cool.
I was like, yeah, this is fucking more Doom. That's pretty rad. Like, that's kind of what I want out of a new Doom. So, and then it just kept going and going. I was like, oh, okay, I think I'm good.
You gonna show me the whole? You gonna show me the whole game now?
You gonna like let's play the whole thing on stage here, or yeah, no, I mean it looks like they're adding like a lot more verticality with the kind of these like flying around and the grapple hook and stuff. That stuff all looks pretty rad. But like overall, ultimately what you need to know is it's more Doom. Like from 2016.
It looked pretty rad.
It's pretty much more of that. So if you liked that, then you're probably in a good place. And if you didn't like that, I saw nothing in there that made me think, oh, well, this is gonna change your mind. Nope, it's probably not gonna be for you if the last one wasn't. Yeah.
It looks pretty rad. I will say, I really liked the last Doom. So that's cool. More stuff. Build on the combat, which was already awesome.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't really have much more to say besides like get that game out and show it to me. Like Yeah.
I wonder if it'll be at PAX. Actually, I wonder if it and Fallout 76 will be at PAX. I'm pretty sure Bethesda's there, which just reminds me I need to email them.
Perfect. Make a note. Email Bethesda.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
Speaking of which, if any of our listeners are going to be at PAX, feel free to let us know. We can get together and you can buy us a drink. I mean, we can buy you a drink or we can have a drink. How's that?
That sounds like a good
that'd be
idea.
cool.
The new World of Warcraft expansion came out.
It's real bad that I really kind of want to jump in on this.
I know, so do I. For some
I was hovering over in my Battle.net launcher. I was hovering over the install button. I was like, shit, man, I got 30. I could do a 30-day free trial and like I wouldn't actually have to put my credit card back in. Like, and then I was like, really? Do I really want to get back? I mean, I haven't played since the Burning Crusade expansion. It's been a long, long time.
I played Pandas.
Oh, you played the Mist of Pandaria?
Man. I'm like, this is too much the same. They haven't done enough.
See, and like for me,
I played the shit out of Cataclysm. So much so that we were raiding and had a full on guild going.
Yeah,
we had raid nights. That's how much I was playing it at some point.
See, I never did any of that because, like, I don't know. I played a whole bunch, and yeah, I played the majority of my WoW. I played during the beta, and as bad as it sounds, I think I burnt out on the beta before that game even came out. I was like one of the first people in the beta, and I played all through the beta, which was quite long for back then. And by the time that game came out, I had probably dropped several hundred hours into it. And then I played a bit more when Burning Crusade came out, and then I never really touched it again. So I bring it up because the first player to hit 120 did it in just 4 hours and 17 minutes. Wow.
Yeah. And the next fastest person was like 6 and 7 hours.
That's crazy.
So yeah, he definitely, he blazed his way to glory now. Did he rip himself off of the experience? Probably, but hey, now he will live in the history books. Who are we kidding? No one
Interesting.
cares.
So apparently,
it's a story for a day, and it will be forgotten because you get nothing for doing that.
Apparently, he had a bunch of quests stored up and ready to turn in as soon as the expansion launched.
Yeah, it's reminiscent of when they're talking about people doing that in Destiny 2. They store stuff up.
Oh,
don't turn stuff in and
interesting.
Have stuff ready.
Huh.
Yeah, it's a well-known strategy for these types.
Well, there you go. Apparently, that's a thing you can do if you're that crazy.
Just hearing about Battle of Azeroth in the zeitgeist right now has been like, oh man, I could really play some WoW again. I remember that being rad.
I know. That's kind of how I was in a spot as well. I was like, man. But then I was like, do I really need to? Because I don't have a
THQ Nordic.
So you know what I did? I went and played The Witcher. There you go.
Instead.
So
that makes more sense. THQ Nordic has acquired the rights to Time Splitters and Second Sight.
Interesting.
Those are both games created by Free Radical. I remember enjoying Time
Splitters. I played a lot of Time Splitters 1 and 2.
I'm not crazy for it like a lot of people there. It definitely has a cult following, that's for sure.
I played a lot of.
THQ didn't say anything besides
they were buying the rights.
The fact that they own these, so like they didn't announce remasters or anything like that.
My real question with the Time Splitters at this point is like, what would that game look like? I feel like we've moved so far from what that game was at the time. Like it was a PS2 era first person shooter multiplayer. I don't even remember if it had a single player, did it? I think it was. I just remember playing a ton of multiplayer with my friends. So
I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't.
I don't know if I ever played Second Sight. So
I think when Time Splitters came out, I was already into PC shooters, and Time Splitters really got popular on consoles.
Yeah, well, no, it was only on the PlayStation, right?
So at that point, I think I was playing Counter-Strike or something else. I was like, shooters on console are for babies.
Yeah. Fair enough.
A lot of noise going on about this story. IGN pulls a review. They're actually specifically their Dead Cells review due to plagiarism.
Oh, they've pulled a lot more than that now.
Yeah, they've gone back and pulled essentially every this guy's existence from their website.
So essentially, like, in case you aren't got your toes to the ground and like we are with all things video game related, essentially IGN published a video review for Dead Cells, and a small YouTube site says, hey, wait a second, that's my review. It's like, so much of this stuff sounds incredibly similar. And so he actually went and he created another video that said, what do I do? IGN ripped off my review, which then, of course, ended up on Reddit, which then, of course, ended up all over the internet. And IGN, like, came very quickly. I think that IGN handled this incredibly well, personally. They came out, they said they're pulling that review and they're investigating. Essentially what ended up happening was they decided that after the end of their investigation that they fired the guy that had posted that review. I'm not even going to bother using his name because I don't think that he deserves it. And they're going to get somebody else to write the review, and that they're going to kind of move on from there. And then he came back, the guy that had done this, and he put up a video on YouTube, because I didn't realize apparently he was like a YouTube streamer before he got hired at IGN. Anyways, so he kind of came out and said his thing on YouTube, which, to be totally honest, wasn't much of saying anything. He didn't even really truly apologize. He pretty much said like, oh no, I didn't, that wasn't my intention. And it was, I did manage to catch the video that he had posted, and it was pretty sad personally. Like, it was a lot of him trying to cover his ass, but not say I'm sorry, but not say that he did anything wrong, but also like, it was just, yeah, it just was not somebody that you could tell he didn't think that he did anything wrong. How's that? At least that's the vibe that I got from his response video.
Classic YouTuber, internet influencer fucking attitude.
Pretty much. Absolutely.
I did nothing wrong.
And then in his video, this was my favorite part, in his video, because Jason Schreier over at Kotaku was one of the ones that broke this story and was really following up on it. He goaded Kotaku. He says in his video, he said, this was, not what this was supposed to be. This wasn't my intention. And I think that, if Kotaku, he pretty much said, like, I look to them to find anything else, because that, go out there and dig and you won't find anything. And Kotaku, of course, like, are you really going to ask Jason Schreier to do that? Like, this guy this is literally his job. Like, he has broken incredibly huge stories about various things. Like, so he went out and he started digging. And unfortunately, this thing has snowballed so hard on this guy at this point that IGN now has pulled, I believe, all of his work. We've seen the head of editor Dan Stapleton wrote, we've seen enough now, both from the heads in our own searches, and we're taking down pretty much everything he did.
That's crazy,
and they started digging into it, and they started finding more and more and more, to the point where even his LinkedIn resume is copied directly from a job template website, verbatim, word for word. Like, it's honestly crazy. This guy, yeah, and the industry as a whole has obviously come out, and they are just like, what the actual fuck? Because I obviously, we're not hardcore game reviewers here. I mean, I would love to spend all day long playing video games and either writing about them or making videos about them, but that's just not. I was 5 to 10 years too late to that, but
yeah,
but
same.
The thing is like people read a review to get that person's opinion on it, and it was interesting. I was listening to the Giant Bomb cast earlier, and those guys were talking about how they wouldn't even read other reviews when they were writing one or talk to other people about the game, and a lot of times because they didn't want, even subconsciously, other people's opinions to leak into their reviews.
Yeah, I was like that with God of War when I had it early. Like, I had a network of people that I follow, and they follow me on Twitter. And I was DMing them because it was all under embargo. And I was like, this game's amazing, right? Like, this is the best game you've ever played. And like, yeah. And it's like, okay, I'm not off base on this. Like, this is, I'm getting the right vibe. This game is this good. And you know what I mean? And like, there's some consensus like that, which, doesn't form your opinion. You're just confirming with other people that you aren't crazy.
Yeah.
But
no, it's interesting.
Yeah,
so this guy has now been fired. His work has been pulled.
Oh yeah, his career.
Yeah, it's brutal because there's so many people that would have loved to have been his job.
I would kill to have worked at IGN if I was younger, before getting married and having a mortgage and all the responsibilities of a freaking adult, to have dropped everything and moved to San Francisco and work at IGN.
It's rough. Dude, so apparently they're pulling all of his reviews. They're re-reviewing games that he reviewed, including ports of Doom and Skyrim on the Switch, because apparently he was a Nintendo editor.
Yeah, I think he was on some of their podcasts.
Yeah.
So he got quite entrenched, got his big following, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, it sounds like he had a bit of one before.
Some people liked him before this happened.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He's got like 60-something thousand followers or subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah.
Some of his videos are like tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of views. And it's like, oh, well, with all your stolen content. Good job, buddy.
Yeah,
that sucks, especially for people who are busting their butt. Like we work hard on our podcast. I think we have a quality product. Yep. And, I don't have 60,000 downloads. We're not making tons of money. Of course, we get less than nice perks because of the podcast. But we still have day jobs.
Absolutely.
And, we don't work that hard on the podcast. I'm not going to lie and say we're busting our butt, but man, it would be pretty rad to, have the luck of, some people in the industry. But we're doing our own stuff. We're not stealing shit. And this guy was successful off of stealing. That's infuriating. In an industry that's so hard to break into, and let alone that he got a job at freaking IGN. Yeah. And, so many people are busting their balls, dreaming to get a full-time job in this industry that's it's shrinking. Yeah. There's less and less websites. Influencers are kind of a dime a dozen now. So it's it's even harder to crack in that way. More doors are closing than opening for getting a position like this. And then this dickhead does that. What a loser.
So I do want to give a huge shout out to, it was Boomstick Gaming was the YouTube channel that sort of this all happened because of. So essentially Boomstick Gaming was the guys on YouTube that published their Dead Cells review. And that's the one that got plagiarized from it. So I just wanted to at least give a big, shout out to those guys, because they were, they're a lot like us. They're just they were a smaller kind of not huge following.
Well, that's it. IGN's webpage got millions of views. Had it been my review, for example, and I was on YouTube, I was Boomstick, right? And my Dead Cells review got I don't know how many views the Dead Cell story got on IGN, but I'm sure it was millions. They get millions of views a day.
Yeah.
If it was my YouTube video that got millions of views, that would have been a few $1,000s that I would have gotten ad revenue.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would have been pretty upset if someone stole my shit and, they essentially profited off of your work.
I do want to point out, so he made that video, or I believe it's a he, Boomstick Gaming made a video that said IGN copied my Dead Cells review, what do I do? That video in and of itself now has 1.2 million views, so there's that.
So he's getting some inadvertent...
Yeah, but I mean, they've got... That channel now has 73,000 subscribers. So, I mean, it's helping. I think this has obviously pushed their channel into the spotlight. Not that I think that makes any of this right. I think it's total crap. But I just wanted to give a shout out to those guys, because that's... Yeah.
IGN copied my Dead Cells review. Well, yeah, I guess he's making some money off that.
And it sounds like IGN is in talks with him to try and make this right. Like you said, hey, there was obviously lost ad revenue. They made money off of his review, which was plagiarized. So it sounds like they've reached out to him, and that is they're handling that. And it sounds like obviously that will be, hey. To be totally honest, if I was IGN at this point, I don't know. Maybe I talk to him, and maybe you hire that guy. I don't know.
I'm looking at the comments on Boomstick. Plagiarism is great advertisement. IGN viewers should all just sub to you.
Yeah. So
if it wasn't for plagiarism, I would have never found your awesome channel. So it's not all bad. Man, we should start copying some people, and then maybe people will start listening to our podcast.
No, Rick, that's bad. That's what we just decided. We just decided this. This is bad. So that.
Oh yeah, that's right. People have to copy us.
There you go.
Okay, so basically, all other podcasts have to start sucking, and then we can accuse them of copying us.
What podcast are you on? Because I'm on a fucking dope podcast. So I don't know if you're on one, but
I'm just.
So that's the story.
What a douche.
If we get any more updates, we'll definitely let you guys know if that goes anywhere else.
He's fired, and pretty sure he's not going to have another job in the industry. And I'm pretty sure his YouTube channel is probably just going to be people trolling him, and he's going to have a hard time.
Sounds like he might have some litigation on his YouTube channel, because it sounds like most of his YouTube videos were not his own. So...
What a tool.
There's that.
Moving along to Nintendo news. Not during Evo, but teased at Evo, which people were pissed off about. Nintendo announced a Smash Direct. They
make an
showed
announcement
a bunch
for an
of
announcement.
new features, gameplay modes, and whatnot. And their Direct. Did you watch the Direct?
No.
Okay. I did watch it. They announced 5 new characters.
Okay.
Simon Belmont. Well, not necessarily 5 new characters, because a couple of them are Echo Fighters, but we've got Simon Belmont, and then Richter Belmont, King K.Rool, Metroid, what was it? Dark Samus, and Chrom.
Okay.
Which is also Dark Samus and Chrom are Echo Fighters. So in Ultimate, Echo Fighters are basically slightly different versions of existing characters. They look different, played generally the same, with maybe some differences to power or variation to some of the moves.
So Ken and Ryu.
Exactly.
Perfect.
They're different characters, but they're not
different characters.
So different that they...
Or Ryu and Akuma.
Anyway. Yeah. So anyway, that's freaking awesome. The Castlevania stage they unveiled has bosses from Castlevania that pop in every once in a while.
That's kind of interesting.
Like Dracula and Frankenstein, Wolfman, a bunch of classic Castlevania bosses. Castlevania stage has 34 Castlevania tracks. The Direct had oh my god, there's so much fanfare in this Direct in terms of stuff they've added and stuff they're putting in the game. They still haven't shown all the modes. There was a mode that was blurred out, which people have suspected that it's some mode that has something to do with if you watch a Direct, there's a cutscene where Death literally kills Luigi, and his soul goes flying.
Yes, I definitely heard that Luigi's dead now, and people were losing their mind over
he's
it.
Dead as he literally gets freaking scythed right in the chest, and they don't show blood, but like blue splatter happens, and then like you see his soul like go flying. So people are assuming that the single player stuff is something to do with getting Luigi back. I don't know if that's true, but people are alluding to that. We'll find out, I'm sure. If not, Luigi's just dead. So watch the video. Simon and Richter, that's all I love. You talking to the Castlevania guy here. I was like super hyped when I saw that announcement. I'm like, this is amazing. And even more amazing is that they're going to have Amiibo.
Oh, God. Just had to squeak that in, didn't you? Just had to talk about
all the new characters
Amiibo.
are getting... all the new characters are getting Amiibo. Crom already had one, so I don't know if they're going to make a new one.
Right.
If you have any interest in Smash, watch the Direct. It was a pretty cool Direct. There's a lot of really neat features coming to Smash. There's like over 800 audio tracks in Smash.
Oh, wow.
From all the music. You can actually play the tracks, make custom playlists and whatnot, and listen to them on your Switch with the screen off. Basically, you can use your Switch as a gigantic MP3 player.
Okay.
Pretty stoked. It was a good announcement. And I think there's probably going to be more characters. Even.
I wish I was more interested in this Smash. I don't know what it.
A lot of the tweaks are so cool. They've added like an HP mode. They added a mode where instead of having to get the Smash gem or Smash ball or whatever you call it, you basically have a meter and your super builds up over time, and you can just use your super whenever. Kind of like a super meter in like other fighting games. There's a lot of info in that Direct. If you have any interest, watch it. I recommend watching it. Dark Souls Remaster, which was delayed from summer for Switch, now has a release date. It's coming October 19th, as well as the Solaire Amiibo.
Okay.
People were pretty freaking pissed. The internet was not very happy about them delaying that.
But then we remembered that it was fucking Amiibo, and who gives a shit? So, I mean, there's that.
And people want to play Dark Souls on Switch.
Who cares about the Amiibo part, though?
Yeah. I do. I care. It's an exclusive to EB, which is going to be a pain in the butt. So
see, there you go.
We'll see if I can get it. But I don't know. Who wants to play Dark Souls? I don't know. I have a feeling it's going to be very framey and not the best way to play it. It's already out on PS4 and Xbox, so the remaster. So remember when Blizzard was teasing Diablo for Switch? Well, guess what? News that was supposed to drop tomorrow, apparently, that was embargoed, accidentally went up on a post on Forbes. The story's from Kotaku. Of course, our friend Jason. No, it's not Jason. It's Nathan.
Yeah.
Oh, that was Jason Schreier. Nathan Grayson, Kotaku reporter.
He's the up and coming.
Basically,
Jason Schreier.
Said the post went up on Forbes and it has since been deleted. But basically, the Diablo 3 Eternal Collection will include the original game, Reaper of Souls, Rise of the Necromancer, all the updates thus far, and there'll be an armor set that makes you look like Ganondorf from The Legend of Zelda. There'll be a chicken pet. There'll be a bunch of other Nintendo-centric stuff. There's 4-player co-op on a single system, which is pretty impressive.
I mean, you're just having 4 characters on the screen. Is it really that impressive? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Diablo has a lot of stuff on the screen.
It was also a game that was released in 2012. Yes.
It doesn't matter.
It's 6 years old at this point.
Intense.
A Switch better be able to play it.
Yeah. That's kind of cool. I already played the hell out of Diablo 3, so I probably won't be playing it on Switch,
my wife is currently playing the hell out of Diablo 3 still.
Oh, she can play it again maybe get it on Switch so she gets off your PlayStation.
You really think No, you know what it is? She wouldn't switch over to the Switch because there's no trophies on the Switch. And you know what she's in it for?
Oh,
she's in there for the trophies. You know what she's currently working on?
That's
getting every single character to level 70. And she's on her last one.
Jesus. That's actually one of the things I will say, which was kind of neat playing Chasm on Vita. It's like, oh yeah, this game pops
I love
trophies.
that.
Like, I remember these.
I'm not a huge trophy whore like our friend Greg Miller, but I will admit that if it is it's cool when they pop. It is a little something extra.
You did the thing.
Exactly.
I did it.
So.
Yeah, I haven't played my Vita in so long. It's like, oh yeah, you can get trophies on these games. The Vita's not that bad. Actually, it's okay.
I still think the Vita is
I
incredibly good still.
It's unfortunate that Nintendo didn't devise a system like that. Or just copy. Like, what the hell, Nintendo?
Yeah.
Speaking of PlayStation, they've announced a limited edition PS4 Pro to celebrate 500 million PlayStation consoles.
And it looks really good.
Like family. It looks rad. It's a trend.
It's like slightly translucent.
Yeah, blue. And
it's got all these like special edition plaques on it. They're only making 50,000.
Gold lettering, gold
so each one's going to have the
controller's translucent
number on the console.
They're making 50,000 apparently.
I'm not gonna lie though, if I was gonna buy a special edition one, I'd be trying to get a Spider-Man one personally.
Yeah,
I like that 50,000 one. It looks really cool, but if I had to buy a PS4 Pro right now, it'd be the Spider-Man one.
I hate myself.
You're trying to get one, aren't you? Or do you already have one?
Yeah, but no, you can't pre-order it anywhere yet in Canada.
But you're on the hunt, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't read this here. U.S. Okay, August 24th.
Oh, there you go.
It'll be available for pre-orders. Canada, U.S. early September. Yeah, I gotta get one of these. Just saying. Sell my old one. Maybe I'll cancel the Spider-Man one.
See, the Spider-Man one for me, that is the one that
The Spider-Man one's amazing, but this is 2 terabyte hard drive.
Yeah.
Freaking very hard to get. It's super limited. It'll actually probably go up in value over time, so I could flip it for a PS5 down the road. So it's investing. It's smart investing.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't need a Pro, but if I did, it would be the Spider-Man one.
Moving along to Xbox news. Doom and Rage are now on Xbox Game Pass. That's about it.
You're talking about like the Doom 2016 and Rage, like the 360 game?
Yeah.
Okay.
These were announced at
Interesting.
QuakeCon. I might have to just download Doom to see how it plays on the Xbox One X.
Yeah.
See what it looks like, because I think it's enhanced for X.
I mean, it can play on the Switch.
Just out of curiosity. Research purposes. Yeah, moving along. Free for all.
Yeah.
I got an Nvidia Shield.
Nice.
This was graciously provided to us from our friends at Nvidia.
Very nice.
I don't have an Android box in my house. I'm not as cool as Dane, and I don't have an Android TV.
Dude, once you've had an Android TV, I honestly don't know if I could go back to not having one. It's nice.
It's actually, that's a lie. I have had an Android box in my house. I had an Ouya. That piece of junk
is that
is long
really
gone.
An Android box?
It is an Android box. Not to the same degree as what the Android boxes that exist today. So anyway, Nvidia Shield's running Android TV. It's a slick little box, comes with the controller and a remote. At least the bundle they sent me came with a controller and remote. I think you can get it without the controller. 4K HDR.
Oh right, I forgot that they
Google
upgraded
Play.
that thing with 4K support.
Yeah, it's got Google Play, it's got YouTube, Netflix. It's an Android box, so you can go to the Play Store and add other services to it. It's got the GeForce Now support, which, of course, I'm part of the beta, so I could take advantage of that, which I was. You can stream from your PC in your home to it. It's a slick piece of kit, man. I'm going to say it's very snappy. It's fast.
It better be.
Like the interface.
It's essentially a switch on your TV.
Yeah,
it's running the Tegra processor and everything.
Android games and apps on it, which is like I was playing Crossy Road on it, and it looked awesome and it played really well. And it's like, this is a stupid mobile game. This is weird. And then I was accessing my Google Play movies. Like I was watching Aladdin with my daughter one day, and it was so easy to bounce around through the services. Like I said, it's got a pretty neat user interface. You can expand the storage if you want externally. I can't remember how much internal memory it has built in on this version. It's not the Pro.
Okay.
Because the Pro one has an internal hard drive, but you could just add a hard drive to this one externally.
Plug it in.
I don't know why you would pony up for the other one, because the only difference is as a built-in hard drive. Android TV is dope. Now I understand.
Yeah,
what you're talking
it's
about.
awesome, man.
I put Steam Link on it, though I haven't had a chance to test
I was testing a bit more of my Steam Link. I don't know. I want to do a bit more research. So how I have it is I've got one of my PlayStation 4 controllers that connects via Bluetooth to my TV, so that when I play games, that's how it controls over the Steam Link. And I was trying to play what was I trying to play now? It was, son of a bee. It's right on the tip of my tongue. Wonder Boy. The new Wonder Boy Dragon Trap game that came out last year.
You bought that?
Maybe. I got it on the Steam sale for like next to nothing.
Maybe you
No, I don't think I have, because I just tried installing it, and I honestly haven't played much. Yeah, and I was like, oh, this is perfect. I'll like throw it on the TV. But I was getting like input lag on the in the controller, which was, and again, I'm not sure, because like, for example, and you're using
a PlayStation 4 controller synced to your Sony TV,
via Bluetooth. Right? And I could have swore it said something about it being like a slow controller or something. So I would have liked to have tried an Xbox One controller, but both of mine are the old style ones without Bluetooth.
Oh, the donut.
Yeah.
Bluetooth.
So I don't know. Because like before when I was testing it,
I should really try that, because I wonder if that streaming works better syncing the controller to the sheet.
That's what I'm wondering ultimately,
as opposed to the TV.
Yeah,
because I did notice with my TV and the Bluetooth, when I use Bluetooth headphones,
there's a little bit of a delay, or
it's not a delay, but it breaks up once in a while. It's very sensitive to how far I am from the TV.
Yeah. Oh, maybe that's it. I'm not.
That could have been my.
Not that far.
That could be my crappy Bluetooth headphones, though. They're not expensive.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not that far from the TV, but anything's possible. So, like, initially I was playing Tomb Raider, or Rise of the Tomb Raider, and I wasn't noticing it as much. But when I was playing like a 2D side-scrolling, essentially like that style of game, it's pretty sensitive to input lag, which I felt like was definitely hampering. But again, I haven't messed around with it anymore. So we'll see. I don't know.
I played Fortnite via GeForce Now.
Oh, nice.
Shield. I didn't really notice any
That's
lag.
wicked.
Input lag. There was a couple spikes of lag, but that's the internet for you. But nothing that was like brutal. Nothing that couldn't have happened playing the game natively as well, right? I'm gonna say though, what an awesome little device. It's got all my video streaming services. I kind of wish there was a couple other apps that I don't want to name that had Android TV support. Now, I don't know you have Android TV. I don't know if there's a way of sideloading just straight up Android apps onto it. I didn't get that far. Or if they have to specifically support Android TV.
Download a web browser and just download the APK. Like I've got, I mean, I haven't tried it, but I don't see any reason why it wouldn't.
Yeah, because there's a couple apps for my TV provider that I wouldn't mind to put on it, because then it would basically replace the set-top box in my house.
Interesting. I can check and see.
Because my set-top box has Netflix and YouTube. But if I can install those apps, I have access to video on demand and everything else. I don't need that set-top box anymore. Because this does everything else better. Like, my set-top box does YouTube and Netflix, but I wouldn't say it's the best implementations. And they are quite buggy. Like, sometimes, like, you go to launch them and they're like, it's unavailable right now. It's like, oh, shut up.
That's the other thing I will say. Like, I use my Android TV to watch like YouTube videos quite a bit, and it's great. Like, it's awesome.
Yeah, you use it for Twitch.
Yeah, exactly. I totally rock Twitch on there quite a bit. That's where I watch like all the World Series, like World Smite Championships, all that stuff.
And they've got Kodi on it.
Yep.
They've got Plex on it. So it's got the very popular media centric apps that a lot of people use for, you know, getting content one way or another. I don't have a need to do that, but a lot of people, you know, use Kodi to watch free television that is available somehow,
I have no
somewhere.
idea. I don't use it.
Yeah, I'm not into that crap, but that's a big reason why Android boxes are so popular, is because of Kodi,
right?
To be honest. A lot of people just even actually call them Kodi boxes. They don't even realize it's a freaking Android box. That's how stupid people are.
My question, like for me, my TV obviously came with Android TV built in. My question with the Shield or even with Android TV is, like, if you have a smart TV, you know, because, like, for example, like, I know Samsung and LG and stuff, they ship with their own apps and stuff like that.
They're smart. Yeah.
I wonder, like, would you want to use the Shield instead?
Oh yeah, it's way faster. It's way snappier.
No, that makes sense.
I'd say the only downside of it is it does take up an input.
Right, in your case.
But it's so small that you could also port it to any of the other TVs quite easily.
Yeah, that's true.
I was almost contemplating taking it with us on our trip so that I would have Netflix.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think of that. That's
on
smart.
Our trip.
Yeah.
Because it's so tiny. Because how many times you go to a hotel at the end of your vacation day, it's like, oh, TV sucks. It's like, and,
but then,
you know,
then you're at the mercy of their internet, which is usually not much better.
Yeah, it was good enough in this hotel to stream stuff.
Fair enough.
So. But yeah. It's a cool kit, Nvidia Shield. I highly recommend it. I think it's awesome.
How much for that one in Canada?
I have
$199.
That's a really good question that I don't have the answer to.
Oh,
because I didn't prepare.
Way to go!
I know they dropped the price. It looks like $250.
Is that on
Amazon.ca?
I'm seeing $262. Oh, interesting. Okay, without there's the one with the controller and one without.
Yeah, $262. Is that also yeah, that's from Amazon.
Yes,
as well.
And then it looks like if you want the
normally
Pro,
$289, so that one's discounted.
Yeah, and if you,
I know it's under $200 American. It got I think a more sizable discount in America.
Yeah, like you said, $250 currently as it sits right now. So,
and actually, the cool thing about this the Shield is you can actually add a Samsung SmartThings USB stick to it and basically make it a smart home controller as well.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, Nelson, listening to the show with a buddy of mine. He's gotten that. He has the older Shield, but he's gotten that stick like for controlling like Zigbee, Z-Wave, and stuff like Nest and smart home stuff. I think actually, I believe there's a bundle of the Shield now that comes with the SmartThings stick.
That's the Pro. It's got the home media server, the Pro, everything all included to one. It's the one that's smart home ready.
Yeah.
Use your voice to dim the lights. It also has, I believe, Alexa integration.
Yeah, so you can buy that USB stick. I think it's $40 or $50 American, and add it to this Shield as well. But yeah, they just have a new bundle that comes with that now. I think that was literally announced like yesterday or the day before.
So.
Oh yeah, now here it is. Here it's $219 US. Okay. Nvidia Shield TV Smart Home Edition.
There you go.
It's not the.
So in other words, not the one that they're selling in Canada yet.
So instead of a controller, you get the remote, but instead of a gamepad controller, you get the SmartThings USB.
Very good.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's an awesome little box. I love it. Man, my next TV has to have Android TV built in.
I'm a huge fan. I hope, as saying that, and then you look at like the TVs that have it, and you're like, I want my next TV to have it, but I don't know if it will or not.
Speaking of Android, being a Pixel user. While I was away, I got Android Pie.
You want some pie?
Which is kind of nice. I don't know. It's got some UI changes. It's got a new gesture system for switching apps. They've done away with the task button or the multitask button. I don't know what you call it on Android. There's 3 buttons on the bottom. You got the back button, the home button, and the active apps button, I guess you want to call it. I don't know.
Something like that, yeah.
That's gone now. So basically, what they've replaced it with is you swipe up and it gets you into your multitasker for switching apps. Or more intuitively, you just drag to the right and then you can drag your finger. If you hold it down and go left and right, you can just swipe through all the apps in one motion. Or if you just swipe right, it just swipes to the last app you're in.
Okay.
Which is kind of cool because that works for quick switching.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a bunch of features that they haven't implemented yet. It's such a weird rollout this time around.
It is weird. There's a digital wellness app, which is like a big feature of it right now. It isn't really an app. It's only right now accessible through settings. And it's kind of cool because it shows you what you've done all day. Like on my phone, I guess screen time today, I've had 2 hours and 32 minutes. I've unlocked my phone 73 times. I've gotten 217 notifications. Wow. And then it shows you like a colorful little pie chart of like what you've done, spent the most time in. So texting today, I've spent 20 minutes texting today. I've spent 21 minutes playing Pokemon Go. I have spent 25 minutes on Twitter. It's my least used Twitter day because I noticed the first day I installed this app, I had an hour and a half of time I spent on Twitter. And I'm like, that is not constructive time. No. I've been on the home. I talked on my phone. I actually talked on my phone today for 37 minutes.
That's it, eh?
Anyway, and that's because I had to call stupid support because of my dumb work. I mean, my work is amazing. I love it. But it's kind of cool. It's a neat app. There's like a wind down functionality you can set to basically your phone goes into do not disturb at a certain time. You can set that it goes into like a grayscale, like night light mode. That's what mine
does every night.
Yeah, and you can set that all on timers and stuff. It's like, hey, it's after 11. You should be going to bed. You shouldn't be playing on your phone.
That's what my phone does at 10. It drops it down.
Yeah, you have it set for that, right?
Like drops down and then like shuts all that stuff off. And so, like
that's one of the coolest features of Pi, and it's in beta, and it isn't installed by default. You have to sign up for the beta. And, they've changed every aspect of settings and notifications and permissions because, hey, it's a new OS update. The launcher isn't immediately like, oh my god, this looks totally different. I'm using Nova Launcher still, so I don't care but Overall, like a couple apps were broken the first couple days. There was some very weird behavior.
Of course it is.
But most of that
OS,
stuff,
man.
Twitter wasn't working very well. Like, I couldn't click on pictures to expand pictures, but it's updated and it works now. A couple other apps were acting up, but they've also all updated now. So I guess maybe they didn't realize that it was going live. I thought it wasn't going live until the 20th.
A lot of people didn't realize it was going live. Like, it was kind of a surprise. Like, oh yeah, by the way,
I was at Disneyland. It's like, you've got a new system update, and I'm like, enjoy Android Pie, and I'm like, well, I can't download this on mobile data right now. I'll wait until we get back to the hotel. And I'm like, this is kind of risky. I'm on vacation. Should I really be doing this? And I'm like,
let's do it anyways. Why not? Living on the wild side.
With that, Dane, I'm going to say we have a show. Right. Episode 168 is in the gigabits, in the ethers, on the internet, and in your ear holes. You can follow me on Twitter at RickF, RIC. Oh my god, I've lost the rhythm of it.
You okay? Or?
RICF, no K.
You can come hang out with me on Twitter at Dane Cody, at DAYNECODY.
I'm running on fumes. I've had a sick kid the last couple days, and I just came back from a exhausting
vacation. It's all
vacation.
good,
man. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow, whatever, on all our social media profiles. We're everywhere. Geekoholics, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube's and the Instagram. Now that I'm back, I will try and get active on that again because I have basically done zero posting for a week. I've been on vacation, maybe a little over a week. Yeah, that's about it. And if you have the ability, please rate and review us on iTunes. If you haven't, it's the one thing we ask. It helps with the logarithms, helps us expand the show, find new listeners, and allow us to keep doing what we're doing. Not that it mattered. If no one reviewed us, we'd probably still keep doing it.
And we will talk to you all next week.
Yes, we will. Have a good weekend. Peace.